So today we are making a giant meatball on top of giant pasta. 'Tis the season, am I right? So first what we are going to do is make our sauce because the meatball is going to sit on top of a little bit of sauce before it goes in the oven. Therefore, we're gonna start it now. Just gonna add some olive oil to the pan. I'm making a double batch of my go-to quick marinara for my cookbook Everyday Indulgence, which is now available for purchase in the link in my bio or in the link in the description of the video. And I'm gonna add a little bit of extras to it today too, but we're gonna do that later on. So while our olive oil is heating up, we're gonna add a hefty amount of garlic, add however much you like though. She had smell-o-vision. Heat really does not need to be high for this. The garlic can burn pretty easily. So next I've got some San Marzano tomatoes. I tried to get a second can and the grocery store was out of the ones that I wanted. So we're gonna do one big fat can of San Marzanos and 2 little cans of cherry tomatoes, which are so fun. I love using them for just like a regular sauce without blending them, which we are doing today. But they are, I think, just about as sweet as San Marzano. They're like the little miniature version. We're making a double batch today because obviously we've got a jumbo meatball, and a jumbo meatball calls for 2 pounds of pasta, am I right? I've now said am I right twice in this video. If you guys are keeping track. So now we are adding my favorite ingredient ever, salt. Bet you didn't think that was my favorite ingredient, but it is. Because it makes everything taste better, taste more like itself. Salt will bring out the tomatoiness in the tomato, the sweetness in the tomato, and actually to accentuate that sweetness a little bit more, we've got a little sugar. And last but not least, we've got some basil. Just like a big sprig or 2. Throw them right in. All right, so gave that a big stir. Now we're gonna bring this to a simmer and let it simmer for about 30 minutes, but you can totally let it go longer. We're gonna put a lid on, just kind of offset, like so that it will allow some of the liquid to evaporate. Then we're going to remove the basil and blitz it with the hand blender. Not sure why I brought it out so early, but maybe I just wanted to do that. All right, now we are going to saute some onions and garlic for our meatballs. This is really the only step of cooking the meatball ingredients aside from cooking the meatball itself. So once again, going in with a little olive oil. Once the pan is heated up and the oil is shimmering, we're gonna go ahead with our onion. Season with some salt. We're gonna cook this until the onion is translucent and is shrunken just a little bit. Okay, our onions are looking great. They are slightly see-through. They've definitely shrunk down. So now we're going to add our garlic. Garlic just takes like 30 seconds to a minute, just until it's fragrant. Again, you don't want it to burn. Garlic gets kind of bitter when it's burned. Not pleasant. All right, I am turning off the heat and we are ready to mix up our meatballs. But before we do, I would like to take a second to thank today's sponsor, Cafe Casino. The perfect place for you to kill some time, relax, and entertain yourself while your meatball is the cooking. And coincidentally, it's also the place where you can find the full recipe for this whole gigantic spaghetti and meatball situation, along with a few of my other recipes you may have seen me make on Instagram and TikTok. If you're into games, they also have some super fun free-to-play games you can play while you're waiting for your meatballs to cook too, like their Build-A-Burger mini game where you can see how high you can stack different burger ingredients. Makes me want to make one of those in real life just so I could see how big of a bite I could take. So head to Cafe Casino now at the link in the description of the video so you can dig into this recipe and have some good old-fashioned fun too. All right, let's get back to the meatballs. All right, it's time to mix the meatballs. So first I have 10 slices of bread. I opted for a multi-grain, but you can use a white bread if you'd like. And I've just cut the crusts off. I reserved the crusts because I'm going to dry them out and make breadcrumbs out of them, but do whatever you want with them. And I've got some milk here. So we are just gonna soak all of this bread. And make sure all of it is thoroughly soaked. This is gonna really help keep our meatballs moist. Okay. That is feeling pretty good. So we have got some ground pork, some ground Wagyu beef, and some Italian pork sausage. You can switch the Italian pork sausage for Italian chicken sausage if you'd like, or the ground pork for ground chicken. I wouldn't recommend switching all three out for lower fat meats just because you will want some fat in the meatball to keep it moist, but I digress. So we've got 3 different meats here, and obviously Wagyu, you can use regular ground beef if you'd like. Okay, so let's start adding things. First, we've got some chopped flat leaf parsley and basil, some grated pecorino and Parmesan cheeses. I freshly grate mine because it doesn't have those anti-caking agents in them, those fillers. Plus, freshly grated cheese tastes better. Now I've got some breadcrumbs. I actually just finely crushed some bran flakes, which are way higher in fiber and protein than regular breadcrumbs. And I just used our NutriBullet, which worked like extraordinarily well for really getting a fine, whoa, found one little guy. So we've got our onion and garlic that we sauteed a little bit ago. I've got a few eggs, and these are the blue eggs from Costco. I'm still trying to decide if they're better or not. The yolks are an amazing, amazing color though. They're just super duper orange, which leads me to believe they're more nutrient dense. But one of the things that's important to me when I'm buying eggs and when I'm buying meat is animal welfare. And I'm not sure that these these are not pasture raised. These are just like cage free or one of the things. I don't know. All of the terminologies I feel like are manipulated by the brands. So I'm not entirely sure if these chickens are treated well. It says they're from small family farms. One has to hope, but honestly, I can't find any information on the internet about it. So if you happen to know, drop it in the comments. Now we've got our milk-soaked bread. And of course we need to season. So we've got some salt and some pepper, but just a reminder, salt is a flavor enhancer, pepper is not. Pepper is adding flavor. I just happen to really like pepper. If you want crushed red pepper instead, or white pepper, or you know, whatever kind of other flavors you want to add, go ahead. I'm so stubborn, I refuse to use pre-ground black pepper. Oh, Jesus. It just tastes better, all right? Get a little arm workout. That was 3. That was the 3rd, am I right? Just don't know if you guys are still keeping track. Okay, now we're getting in here with the tools that God gave us, our hands. They're just the best for mixing meatballs. It's really a sensory experience as well, especially with the eggs. Oh yeah. Honestly, this is like super therapeutic. Squishing the meat through your fingers. So this recipe is actually a copycat recipe. You may have seen it on my Instagram channel before. but this is my version anyways of the giant meatball at Lavo in Las Vegas. They do not serve theirs with pasta. I believe they do serve theirs with ricotta, which we're doing as well today. So this is just one of many ways to make a meatball, but I can tell you from experience that it is just like really delicious, like really delicious. All right, so all of these ingredients feel like they are pretty well incorporated, right? We want everything to be really evenly distributed, but once we get to that point, we really don't need or want to keep going. Overworking the meat can make it tough. So really just get it to the point where you feel like it's really all mixed together well, and then just go ahead and stop. Just practice some restraint. All right, so I've got a baking dish here. Obviously, if you're gonna cook all three at once, you need something much larger. So I've just sort of portioned these off. I also stuck the bowl in the fridge for a while. Actually, I stuck it in the freezer because I wanted to shorten the time that it needed to be in there, just to try to help it keep its shape. So we've got the meat. We are bringing back the sauce. So the sauce has been simmering at this point for probably like an hour over here. So very carefully, just gonna stick the immersion blender all the way in and turn it on. You wanna be careful not to get it all split splattering everywhere because the liquid is hot. And I'm just realizing that I didn't take the basil out, so I guess that is getting blended in too. Ooh, you see, that's what you don't want to do. Honestly, not sure where all of that went. All right, that is looking lovely. The color gets a little bit lighter. We are gonna do a little bit more to this sauce, but for right now, we are good to go. We just want a little bit for the bottom and for the top of our meatball when we are about halfway through cooking it. All right, so we're just going to add a little sauce on the bottom. This is just gonna keep the bottom moist and prevent it from burning, which happened the last time I made this. So again, I've already kind of portioned off with my hands. It's just very loose. I did not measure these, but if you want to be exact, you obviously can. Yeah, those look somewhat even. Forming this into close to a ball as you can. I've got tiny hands, and imagine if you have larger hands, that might be a little bit easier. Okay, so I'm just gonna place that bad boy right in the center of our sauce. I'm gonna just perk this guy up a little bit. I'm gonna smooth out some areas. Okay, so this is going into the oven for 20 minutes at 450 degrees Fahrenheit. This is going to help brown the outside of the meatball. Then we're gonna lower the heat to 325. We're gonna pour some sauce over the top and kind of let it braise a little bit in the oven before removing and placing atop our giant mound of giant pasta. Oh boy. Oh, it's got some nice browning on the top, oh boy. Time to cover this bad boy in sauce. That is heaven. And we just want to make sure that all of the meatball is coated in the sauce. I'm gonna leave that sauce here. So I'm bringing this back to the oven again at 325. Okay, so 20 minutes. Now for the sauce. Time to jazz this up. Come on. Not even a little unsurprising. All right, so to our beautiful sauce, we are going to add some cheese. It's like an ounce per batch. This is a double batch. I've also got some butter here. So I'm gonna do like 4 tablespoons. I would normally do 2 tablespoons, but again, double batch, smaller bits. I'm just gonna plop those right in here. All right, so I'm gonna give this a stir just to get it started. That butter will just start to melt on its own. We are going to go in there with the immersion blender again. It's really gonna get everything super emulsified, but you don't need the immersion blender. The cheese and the butter will both melt in. Just make sure the heat is not up too high. Low heat is fine. And I am adding some collagen. So I'm gonna do a 1/2 cup. Normally I would use a whisk to incorporate collagen, but obviously we're going in with the immersion blender, so not really necessary. Here we go. Yum, oh my gosh, did it again. Oops, I did it again with your heart. What I love about adding the butter and the cheese is it makes it like this creamy, almost like a la vodka-y type sauce. Like it looks that way anyways, becomes like nice and kind of thicker. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this back on the heat just to keep it nice and warm. Again, make sure it's not too high. Once we add this to the pasta that I'm super excited about, we will be also adding some pasta water. So the sauce will thin, that pasta water, the starch in it will help that sauce bind to those noodles. It's gonna be such a beautiful thing. Very excited. All right, so this is the kind of pasta we're using. I'm sure you've seen it before. It's called Colonne Pompeii. I buy it at a place called Piccolo's. I'll put the link to buy in the description of the video. But these are just super fun. If you haven't seen some of my other videos with these in it, I have a few. So, have at it. I feel like I needed a bigger pot. Oh well. Okay guys, look at how pretty it is. Look at it, oh my goodness. All right, so I'm gonna let this bad boy chill out for a few minutes while we finish our pasta so that all those juices can redistribute and it stays nice and juicy. All right, so we have facial. Oh, that's actually lovely. Whew. All right, so we've got 1,000 grams, because each one of these are actually 500 grams, so a little over 2 pounds of pasta. Oh geez. This sauce is so delicious, guys, and it really does taste so similar to vodka sauce. I went ahead and adjusted the salt situation. So good. Actually, I'm gonna add a little bit more. Okay, so we're just gonna add this sauce in. I'm gonna leave a little extra. If we need it, then I will use it, but I wanna use it to top the meatball. As promised, a little pasta water. Oh. I always reserve more than I need. It's just what I do. Oh, it looks so good. Oh my God. Oh, look at that. Oh man. Okay, so it's time to plate. I'm pretty excited, not gonna lie. Okay, so my goal here is to get like this wraparound effect and place the meatball right on top. 2 pounds, feels like a lot of pasta. Hopefully it looks like a lot of pasta. Really wanna use my hands for this? Put some of the more broken pieces just in the center because they're gonna be covered up by this gigantic meatball. I'm really happy that I didn't do 2 meatballs. Just would have been super aggressive. Okay, the moment has come. Okay. Oh, it just looks so obnoxious and I absolutely love it. What is there even to say? Literally nothing. Holy crap. Okay, so we're almost done here, but holy God, how flippin' amazing does this look? I mean, let's just, a moment of appreciation. Okay. Wow. So we have got some ricotta. We're just gonna gracefully dollop on top here. I mean, good God. As Jackie Chan once said. In my opinion, that's not enough ricotta for everybody. Just put some more on the side. This is about presentation. I had to bring the whole family out here to see this, because like, look at it.
This is a Texas menu.
It's yeah, the Texas menu. Ta-da! Oh my God, look at how cute it is. Look at the basil. I can't. Guys, I also want to just round of applause or moment of whatever for the plate. For holding together. Thank you, Sherry, for gluing it earlier. Oh my good God. All right, well, there's obviously only one thing left to do, and you know what time it is, so let's do it. Oh, God, I'm excited. Wow. I have been so anxious to try this. It's really not bad. 9 grams of fiber in soda. It gets me so excited. Let's break into this ball. Oh, the juices are just running out of it. I wish I had a camera right here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's still nice and warm on the inside. This thing is like self-heating. Extra sauce. Oh. Oh my gosh, the flavor of the meatball is crazy. Wow. It's gotta be the Wagyu. That's gotta be what that is. You guys know the struggle that I have with this noodle. It's really meant to be broken, but like, obviously, this looks so impressive. So good. The sauce reminds me, and I don't think this is how he makes it, but it reminds me of Scott Conant's at Scarpetta, which I love. I love how chewy these noodles are. I will say, even cooking them a minute under the al dente time, granted I did toss the pasta in the hot sauce, so it continued to cook just a little bit. So let's just say I cooked it to the al dente time on the package. It does start falling apart, but it still has like a little bit too much of a bite even. Like it could stand to be cooked another minute, maybe. This is enormous. Can she do it? Can she do it? Also, I just want to say, substituting breadcrumbs for bran flakes, white bread for a high fiber, multi-grain bread. You literally cannot tell at all. I mean, I can't even tell you how delicious this is. You're gonna need to make it yourself, obviously. But these are just like such great swaps to be able to get more nutrition without having to sacrifice anything. Absolutely insane. That fresh basil and the meatball, holy crap. God damn it. Ooh. Oh, this suffices. So much better than regular soda. The ingredients, the nutrition, everything. All right, I'm gonna have one more noodle and then I'm gonna call it because somebody's gotta shut me off these days, somebody. Wow. This was so epic. All right, guys, that's it for me. This was delightful. Oh my goodness. You, again, can find the link for this recipe in the description of the video at Cafe Casino's website. I really, really need you to make this. And it's super duper festive. Fabulous alternative to a roast, a turkey for Christmas dinner. Who isn't gonna be impressed by this? And I'm telling you, this meatball, above and beyond tastier than a roast or a turkey, like 1000%. All right, guys, I hope you all are having a fabulous holiday season so far, and I look forward to seeing you guys very soon. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.